What is up, RotoGrinders? Hour and a half, 90 minutes, nonstop NBA DFS conversation starts right now. It is Wednesday. It is a day for humping. It is a day for tanking. Get excited. Lots of gross tanking on this slate. Still, 2.5, 3 weeks or so until the finish line as far as the end of the season. The Raptors in full tank mode. Brooklyn has incentive, and Philadelphia, Washington. That's going to be a full-on Tank Fest du jour. We talk about the Tankathon all the time. Washington currently entrenched in that one spot. Washington, Utah, Charlotte, Philly, and Brooklyn combined have done a spectacular job tanking. How many games in a row, Tim? You guys know Tim, Tasteful Tots. Tim, one of the best 3-entry max single-entry specialists in the game. How many games in a row have Washington, Utah, Charlotte, Philadelphia, and Brooklyn lost?
Oh, man. How many teams did you just mention? 4?
Washington, Utah, Charlotte. They're the 1, 2, 3. 5, Philadelphia's in the 5 spot, and then Brooklyn is tied with Philadelphia. They're 23 and 49. I skipped New Orleans because they accidentally won. They won last time. So, yeah, wow. 1 through 6 without the 4. How many games they lost in a row?
I don't know, 20?
20 is the answer. They lost.
Is it really?
20. Yes.
Wow.
It's really hard when you win a game. It's really hard to make that up. It's really you just gotta keep up with the grossness. Yeah, and
aren't Toronto and Brooklyn right next to each other in the Tankathon?
No. So Philly and Brooklyn have identical 23 and 49.
Philly and Brooklyn. Okay. Yeah.
Toronto's 25 and 47. They have a couple games on. Depending on how you look at it, they've won 2 more games than Philadelphia and Brooklyn.
Gotcha.
But that's kind of the gap, right? And then there's Miami, like 6 games later. It doesn't really matter. Miami and San Antonio. Miami just has to lose. Speaking of, by the way, what a whimper that Jimmy Butler stuff was. What a terrible just game all around. Vengeful. I was told Butler was vengeful. Not so much. Not last night, at least. The revenge narrative did not play out. And the other weird thing in this slate, Tim, is that, we have 2 players getting midday upgrades to questionable that play later on in the slate on teams that, Boston really can't move, right? They're not going to jump to Cleveland. They're not going to go to the 1. I guess theoretically they can fall down to the 3. But we did get an upgrade to Jason Tatum, upgrade to questionable. That's a 10 o'clock game, back half of the ESPN doubleheader. And then Joker was upgraded to questionable too, 9 o'clock game. And the shape of the slate was being, in part, these players being out and, players in their teams stepping up. I guess the main sticking point as far as the slate is Milwaukee taking on Denver, because it's not just no Lillard. It's also who might be out for the season, it seems like. Hopefully he gets better. Blood clots, apparently. But Giannis also being out too. So it's just a weird time. Why would you bring Joker back to take on a Milwaukee team at home? And if he's not 100%, it's just odd. And I don't know if he's going to play or not, but they're upgrading him to questionable. Either upgrade him in. What are you still deciding? And do they need him against whatever's left of Milwaukee? They need
that's
Joker.
That's what I was thinking. Is why even bother playing him? I don't really get that.
Yeah.
Is that a national TV game?
It is not. The back half is Boston and Phoenix. Yeah. So it's not national TV, and he's also hurt.
Right. Right.
He's been hurting. He's been dealing with stuff. It's just weird that that's the spot they would think to bring him back. And maybe they will, but just rule him in then. Why rule him questionable? I guess they're still deciding. And then the Tatum thing is I don't know why Boston would force it either. And they brought back, Jaylen Brown after several games, and he kind of stunk. And if you look at his last 3 games, his usage is 16, 17, 18, 19%. And, by the way, shout out to Phoenix, who's been better of late. We've been trashing him on the show for a while, and Durant's been awesome too. We kind of trashed a little bit. Well, trash is the right word. But that's who Boston's playing. And Phoenix, I guess they're still kind of sort of somewhat battling for that the play-in stuff, not where they wanted to be ideally, but they're probably going to be one of those two teams in the 9-10 game in the Western Conference. But it's just tough to make a lot of decisions in this slate because I don't know if Tatum's playing. I don't know if Joker's playing. It's
Joker's the big one. I'm not so worried about the Tatum one, to be honest with you.
I like Derek White a good bit, so that's why he's one of my, especially on FanDuel, just like he's like 7K over there. I think he's an awesome play. I think he's an interesting pivot off of Brown. Brown would project pretty well, although he's not cheap. He's 8-9, right? So
I was going to say, I mean, we have an if then for this if Tatum is out, and Brown doesn't really pop that hard just because of his inflated price tag. So yeah. I do agree with you on Derek White, especially on FanDuel, and I agree with you with Jaylen Brown on FanDuel. So for FanDuel, this makes a lot more difference, bigger difference, but I don't think on DK this makes like a huge thing if Tatum were to sit. But yeah, I mean, obviously it would open up some stuff, but I mean, they don't rate out as amazing plays if Tatum were to sit.
By the way, the other thing on Denver is Aaron Gordon's questionable, Michael Porter's questionable, and Joker's questionable. Yeah. I would say, I don't want to say for sure, I don't want to speak in definitives. I feel really, really confident. Like, again, Denver knows that Milwaukee is without Giannis and Lillard. If Joker plays, I feel really confident at least one of Porter and Gordon are sitting. And, Gordon's been managing stuff throughout the season too. I just feel really confident. Like, they're not going to play all three of those guys. I will be shocked if all three of those guys
I would also be shocked if they played all three of them. I feel like two of these players are going to sit. Again, I feel like it's going to be because MPJ was a midday downgrade. So I feel like Michael Porter's going to be sitting. And then it's going to be one of Gordon and Jokic. I have a feeling it's going to be Gordon. Like, my personal belief, like, just my take, is that Jokic is going to play and the other two sit. But that's just a guess.
But if that's the case, you want to play Joker, right?
Yes.
You want to set your lineup up for like, okay, we're going to build around Joker, and you can figure it out, and again, and you have Boston to play with if you need Boston to play with as far as some pivots if Tatum goes. I hate that there's no analysis at this time of year. It's just like who's alive, who's going to be who's going to be on the court, and who's going to try, and who's got a chance to, like, if they're playing too good, to get kicked off the court, and that'll be another conversation we'll have soon enough as far as the slate. But that's kind of where we're at when it comes to the NBA this time of year. Unfortunately, not a lot of teams are motivated or fully motivated, and they're motivated the other way to lose. But that's kind of where we're at. But is that what we're doing? Is that the thought process? It's just kind of because we have the cheap guys in the same game. You could have a Milwaukee Denver stack, Joker in $3, maybe $4 isn't completely nuts. You can do that.
That's my initial build is Jokic with $3. So I mean, I don't think that you necessarily have to do that. There's other value on the slate that's pretty decent that we'll talk about. But I mean, definitely getting to those bucks, at least two of them, I think is pretty important on the slate. So I'm not really sure what I want to. I mean, I don't know exactly what I want to do with this value, but I mean, definitely getting to a couple bucks, I think, is a really strong play.
I feel like I'm probably going to have at least two in every lineup. I'm willing to go to 3. I don't think I'll get to 4. I'm not sure. But, it's a fluid conversation. By the way, I said Wednesday is a wheel for humping, and it's a wheel for humping. It's a day for humping. It's a day for tanking. It is also a day. Producer Steve was feeling generous. He's feeling generous, and the people have reached out. If I tell you how much his DMs are being flooded, how many emails he's getting, where is the wheel? We need the wheel back. We got to give it a whirl. We got to give it a spin. People are there's all sorts of allegations out there. There's tinfoil hats being constructed. But if only for today, you see it on the scroll in the bottom. Get in the live stream chat channel. We're going to spin that wheel. Producer Steve has a post. Just, hit his post. He'll know what your name is. He'll throw your name up on the wheel, and we're going to spin that wheel. 6:15. We're going to give away at least one week of RG Premium football, baseball, basketball, hockey. It's not just baseball, not just basketball. It's all sports. I have baseball on the mind because tomorrow we're talking baseball starting 2 o'clock, myself and Stevie. Also, speaking of baseball, I was diving in, like opening up Fangraphs last night. Just a lot of fun. Looking at Plate IQ. Plate IQ is up. I'm like, I was so excited to see Plate IQ. And then I didn't get a chance to read it just yet, but I know Cheese posted his musings. And
the musings is out. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I read some of it.
Yeah, I glanced at it, and the player I wrote about, I got like a big blurb about one player, and I'm like, oh, was this weird? Like, I don't know where everybody else is at, and I guess Mike Trout's going to be really popular tomorrow, which is just weird. Yeah, just a heads up. I think he's going to be really popular tomorrow. And speaking of Cheese and Cardi will be on tomorrow at 3. I want to say, because we're going to be mostly revolving around the DK slate. DraftKings has a sprint slate, like a 9-game sprinter, every game starting like at 4 o'clock. So that should be spectacular. Eric's asking, I use Baseball Savant. Yes, I was using Savant as well. I love Savants. And they have some new stuff there as well. So I really, really enjoy diving into baseball stuff. And I wrote my survey last night, and I'll have my rankings later on this evening. I'm talking baseball tomorrow with Stevie, but it's going to be good times for sure. We're still talking basketball as well. I saw somebody in chat was asking this, Tim. We're going to have basketball is much more fluid than baseball. So like on the slates where it's both happening and locking at 7 o'clock, the 5 o'clock show is going to focus on baseball. And then crunch time is going to have like mostly basketball, but some baseball. And Roth will be there as well, of course. You really, really need Roth for weather issues. He'll tell you what's going on the fly. But that's the way we're going to be doing it. And, case dependent, depending on the slate, but assume it's going to be mostly baseball around 5, assuming it's like a Monday or a Friday. But this is why you turn on notifications, so you know when we're going live. But we'll be focusing on both baseball and basketball as far as the 2.5 week crossover. Okay. 6 games today, Tim. Any news coming in as I was talking? As
I don't think so. Not for this slate. Not for today.
The Sixers haven't ruled anybody else out in the last 5 minutes?
No. I thought we were going to start getting a flurry right there, but it did not happen.
Yeah, I mean, they're down to 10, I think. I think they have 10, if I'm seeing this correctly. So I think they have enough. There's a person named Philip Wheeler. I guess he's not in the pool.
He's not in the pool.
Yeah, I guess he's available to play basketball if necessary. You got anything big picture wise? Because man, I'm looking forward to your dynamite analysis on Washington and Philadelphia.
No, don't look for no.
Because these are two teams.
I hate that this is the first game of the slate too, because I really don't want to take up roster spots, but you might have to with this game.
It's just so weird, and a lot of it is, and I kind of talk about this all the time. It's like, well, are they going to sit players? And like we've seen different teams like do in-game tanking, and in part, like if Philadelphia is playing a good team and they're down by 20 in the third quarter, whatever, man. Let Grimes get 40 points. Let him keep shooting. But what if they're up by 10 versus Washington? Are they going to keep him out there? I don't know. They've done it a couple times, and they've also done it when they've given him the hook. It makes all the sense in the world to not let him play. That's like it's really hard to. And again, this is where I'm thankful I'm not in the projection team. I don't know how you put a projection on this stuff because more so than anything else, it's kind of somewhat contingent on what is the score in the game, and is he making too many baskets?
And he's incredibly expensive now too. So
yeah,
he really is going to stay out there for a ton of minutes now.
So I don't know how to handle that stuff, and I'm curious your thoughts.
I think I'm going to be staying away from Grimes, to be honest with you.
But then
they tend to only leave him in there if they're losing the game, and I don't think they're going to be losing this game in any kind of like big way.
How bad do you have to be when you're 3.5 point underdogs to the Sixers? And that's where Washington is right now.
Right.
I mean, good Lord. Have you seen the Sixers? Have you seen Washington? Let's set the game. 231 is the total. It's the only 7 o'clock game. It is high and tight, right? Philadelphia is a 4-point favorite here, 3.5 point favorite. I rounded up 231 total. As far as who's in and who's out here, Koulibaly, I think he's out for the season. I don't know if they officially said that, but we're not going to say it. Kispert's out for the season. No Middleton, no Smart. The vets are out. Anthony Gill officially questionable. Kaishan George is also out with his ankle. We are projecting Poole, Carrington. Carrington really got loose. I think it was last game. Vukcevic has been solid. We're expecting Vukcevic and Sarr to play alongside each other. As far as the Washington starting lineup, Philadelphia, like you said, nothing. I mean, all the big guys are out, right? Drummond, Embiid, Eric Gordon, Hood Schifino was just ruled out. Kyle Lowry, like I don't know, is he out for the? Have they said these guys are out for the season? They're out for the season, right? Lowry, Eric Gordon.
I saw earlier Drummond is without a timetable to return. Yeah.
I'll give you his timetable. You ready for it? October.
Sometime in the fall.
On a different team. Also, the Tyrese Maxey thing. Remember, he was questionable with a finger like a month ago.
Yeah.
Tyrese, if you don't mind, just keep the. You can't be too cautious. Can't be too cautious. But I know you got 10 of them. We can't be too cautious, though. He's out as well, obviously. But yeah, what do we do with this game? Because in theory, I guess there's some potential value here. They're going to have 5 guys on the court, like both these teams. But predicting these rotations are really, really tricky. They're really, really dicey. How are you handling this game? Because I'm mostly throwing my hands up at it and just hoping it doesn't go nuts. which
I really love Justin Edwards in this spot. I think his minutes are very, very safe. I think he's got 40+ upside here. So Justin Edwards is my favorite play on the Philly side. I'm getting to a ton of him in Sims, like 60%. He's around 30% projected owned, so double the field on Edwards right now in Sims. I absolutely love him. That would really be it in terms of like safety for the Philly side. On the other side of this game, I don't mind taking tournament shots on Sarr and Carrington. And then I think the safest play, if he's in the starting lineup, is Tristan Vukcevic at 4,300. I think if he starts, I think he's a relatively safe play. So like the 2 safe plays in this game are Vukcevic and Edwards. I think Edwards is like a cash game, like staple play.
You think he's like kind of that sweet spot of not good enough where you have to give him the hook, but good enough where he's going to accumulate fantasy points?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to get a ton of usage in this game, and I love that he's small forward, power forward also, and I think he should easily play 35 minutes in this game.
Let's go ahead and pull up our minute delegation for Philadelphia. Yeah, 35 for Edwards. I do like that call. 32 minutes for Grimes. Again, that's just a tough number. Count to the fourth, 28. Butler, 28. Yabusele, 28. There's just kind of some hedging stuff in there. Bona, 23. Did you know Marvin Bagley had a brother? Marcus Bagley, 22 minutes.
I learned that today.
Alex,
when you did also. Did you know he had a brother?
I wasn't aware. I'm not a big prospect person. Like I don't watch college basketball, so I wasn't aware he existed. Alex Reese, 21. Doughton, 21 minutes as well. That's kind of where we're at. But again, it's just really, really tricky. I do think the best play is Edwards, although he's the one getting the most ownership as well. And if we're going to play the route of, or at least think about the route of, hey, they might sit Grimes down. Let's try to figure who would benefit from this, I
think it would be Justin Edwards and Jared Butler. Maybe Jeff Doughton also.
Yeah. But like Doughton's 5K. And like he might.
Yeah, I'm not saying play him.
Yeah.
You would benefit from Grimes sitting.
Yeah. You mentioned Vukcevic on Washington. He's been really, really good fantasy points per minute, 1.28 fantasy points per minute, really, really strong. He can get a 3. I know all this. You know why I know all this? He's on my season-long team, which I know you're really concerned about. He was we're scrambling with some pickups who survived last week. We're in the semi. Can you imagine we're in the semis? There's another week. Who scheduled this?
That's crazy.
Don't they know about what happens the last week of the season? But somehow we were getting lucky enough to survive. But Vukcevic has helped me along on my season-long team. You can drink now if you play that game at home. But anybody else on Washington? AJ Johnson is projecting pretty well. He's another guy.
I think AJ Johnson is fine. I think Kobe Jones in large field GPPs is fine. And I don't mind Bub Carrington in large field GPPs.
Yeah, and if you're playing the large field GPP, like we don't have no idea where these minutes are going. Jalen Martin's not completely bonkers.
I forgot.
I don't know how many minutes he's going to play. I have no clue. He could play 35 minutes. He could play 25 minutes. He could play 10. No clue. Yeah. I'm a little bit concerned about Vucevic because they did like basically DMP-CD them the other day.
That was the second I have a back-to-back though.
But then they bring him in the last 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Like, what was that?
I don't know exactly, but that was the second half of a back-to-back. So,
but okay, if he can't, also he's like 22 or whatever he is, right? But all right, if he's just why can't he play? But then why play him 3 minutes? Like, what was that?
Right.
Do you need him to start? Is kind of what I'm getting at. Is my question.
Oh well, that's the thing. That's what I was thinking. Also, like, does he need to start? And I think he does actually.
I kind of do too.
Yeah, I do agree with that take. And if he doesn't start, I really like Alexander Sarr.
Yeah, but again, will they bench him if he's playing too good? I don't know.
I don't know.
And Poole as well. And again, the tankathon stuff. I know it sounds like we're obsessing over. Washington right now is in the driver's seat. They have they're 15 and 56. Actually, you know what? Utah's got one more loss in them, but Utah has one more win too. So yeah, the loss column is what matters the most. They have 56 losses to 15 wins. Yeah. So Washington really wants to lose. I know somebody in chat was saying Washington's going to win. I don't know, man. Nobody wants to win this game. It's going to be, and the players out there, yes, of course, the players that are on the court are trying their hardest. They're trying to play for the next contract. Some of these guys will probably be out of the league next year. But they're going to do their best. But the coaches won't necessarily put the team in the best position to get that W. Anything else we want to mention as far as Washington and Philly before we move on from this grossness?
No, we can move on.
Okay. Again, another reminder, you guys see it scrolling. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Get your name on the wheel. Jump in the Discord, RotoGrinders.com/Discord live stream chat channel. Do not wait to the last second. We're going to spin the wheel about 6:10, 6:15. Let's make producer Steve's life easier. And he said we're going to dust it off. Let's be kind and just let's do it down. Do not do it at 6:10. No promises. There's a cutoff date. We live in a society. All right, the Clippers and New York. 218 is the total. New York is a 5-point dog here at home, which to me kind of suggests that Jim Harden's going to play. I know Jim Harden is officially questionable. He's got that foot. Otherwise, anybody else of note for the Clippers, good to go. Brunson is out. McBride is out.
Yep.
Campaign busted really, really hard yesterday. I think he's an interesting bounce back. I don't know how much we need it, but I think I would get at least a sprinkle or so in tournaments. Obviously he's not the first option or the second option or the third option or the fourth option on this team.
Yeah, but, when he shares the court with OG and Cat, he's got like a 14% usage rate.
Not ideal.
He's so much better. He's so much better as the second unit guy.
Yeah. It's one of those.
I still fell into the trap yesterday. I still lost with Cameron Payne, but still, like, he's such a better play off the bench.
It's the age old, like, do you want more minutes with lower usage, or do you want, like, all minutes are not created equal. Like, the minutes off the bench with the second unit are obviously better, but if you get less of them, yeah, it's a tricky thing. But I just think a lot of people are just like, gross. That guy stunk yesterday. There's no way I'm going back to him. And you don't necessarily have to. But yeah, as of right now, we are expecting. Well, Harden's questionable. This by the way, is the front half. I think it's no. Lakers Indiana is the front half of ESPN. I think that's the ESPN game. But your thoughts as far as Clippers and New York?
Well, yeah, a lot of this depends on Harden. If Harden sits, then guys like Zubac and Powell and Kawhi would become really, really strong plays. If Harden plays, I don't mind him in GPPs. But really, the other side of this game. Oh, and one quick thing: Zubac on FanDuel is very, very cheap, so he's a cash play on FanDuel. You can definitely go back.
It's Hemmer Lopez. It's Hemmer Lopez on FanDuel. Yeah.
Right. Yes, for the New York side, I don't mind going back to Payne. I don't mind going back to Cat either. But really, I don't love this game. This game isn't like amazing for DFS. So I think outside of Payne and Cat, I'm probably not getting exposure to any of these other guys unless I was like building out like 20 teams. Getting sprinkles of Hart and OG are fine.
That's pretty much where I'm at too. I don't think there's anybody I absolutely need, but they're all sort of. I know it's not like a definitive answer. It's kind of fence riding, but they're all kind of fine. They're all kind of fine. Do we have an if then set up for Harden? You mentioned it. Yeah, Kawhi.
Yeah, we do.
It'd
be Kawhi and Zubac and Chris Dunn a little bit also.
He's 8-8 now on DK. But we're giving him 36 minutes. The minutes are not a problem anymore. They are. I guess they're motivated, right? Let me pull up their standings. They're in the thick of it. The Clippers, that is. Let's see. They're currently in the 7th spot, and they have 40 wins. The 8th spot, Minnesota, 41. They would love to jump in the 6, right? So they don't have to deal with the playing nonsense, the 7-8, which is Golden State just above them by a half a game. So the Clippers are for sure a motivated team. We don't have a lot of those these days. They want to win. They would like to get this W. Put the pressure on Golden State, who has lost 2 in a row. Again, that's kind of why I think Harden's in play. It is weird to see 8-8 Kawhi, and he would be a good play.
If he would be a really good play too.
And you mentioned Zubac, 8-3 on DK. You can play it, but the FanDuel price for Zubac is 7.
FanDuel price is
really good,
fantastic. Yeah, he's way too cheap on FanDuel.
Anything else we want to focus on, or shall we move on?
No, it's just the primary pieces for that game. I wouldn't get too fancy with it.
Raptors, Nets, 214.5 is the total. Another gross game. Brooklyn is a 2.5-point favorite here. Who's in? Who's out for this one? Well, let's go ahead. Let's check the old injury report. I like that they have Chris Boucher out for illness. Even if he was feeling great, he ain't playing.
No,
there's no circumstance they refuse to let him. I'm surprised they didn't give him a chair to sit in. I love that Jakob Poeltl, the most well-rested man in America, he's resting again. He's exhausted. Emmanuel Quickly also exhausted. They got to rest him again. They got to give him some more rest. Roden is hanging out in the G League. Grady Dick still has that. He's got a bone bruise, so you can't let him play the rest of the season, or at least not tonight. Brooklyn, Cam Johnson is out. Cam Thomas is out. They played those guys way too much of late. They finally figured out. Wait a second, why be doing that? Daron Sharp is out, and anybody else of note? Melton, he's been out for forever. Tosan's still hanging out in the G League. Looks like Brooklyn has 10 dudes. Looks like Toronto has 11 if you count Cole Swider. Yeah. That is formerly of the Miami Heat, Cole Swider. Yeah, shout out to him.
Wow, I've never heard of him.
Yeah, he's a shooter, but I don't know if he gets any play here. I don't think he's in the pool either. I'm fairly certain he's not in the pool. I'm not necessarily suggesting him. Is he? Yeah, it does not appear to be in the pool. At least according to our records. So, we've seen Barnes get the hook. It's not a great environment either, right? 214.5. We know what the pace for Brooklyn is typically not very good. The pace on the season, it's the absolute worst in basketball. 96.29 according to NBA.com. They'll be playing up in pace against Toronto. I don't trust Toronto to play their guys. We've seen it several times. I don't expect to play Scotty Barnes. They're priced high enough, or even if they do play him, there's no assurance, right? Mogbo's kind of interesting to me because he's one of those just bad enough, or Orlando Robinson's kind of sort of someone interesting to me. It's Zaire Williams is a mid-tier cheapie that probably plays a fair bit of minutes. It's just nothing really about this game. Maybe you can change my mind. It excites me.
No, I'm completely out on Toronto. I tried the Scotty Barnes thing. I'm completely done with that. I'm done with Barrett. Maybe Jonathan Mogbo, maybe in large field GPPs, but in single entry and 3 max, I'm completely out on Toronto. For Brooklyn, I wouldn't mind playing some Trendon Watford at 4,600 because he does have that power forward center eligibility. But I'm out on Claxton. I'm not gonna do D'Angelo Russell either. So for the most part, I'm pretty much out on this game, other than Mogbo and Watford. What say you about Russell, Dean? I'm a little bit kind of conflicted about Brooklyn. I know that I'm going to be fading Toronto, but perhaps I play like a Watford in single entry.
Russell's fine. They've kept his minutes, the mid to high 20s essentially. He played 32 last game versus the Pacers. I'm trying to think. That was an overtime, right? Why did he play 32 minutes last game? They lost by 6, so maybe that game was not a threat to be lost, to be won.
And Russell's going to be pretty highly owned too.
I don't think I'm playing him. In theory, like if you told me you're getting 30 minutes from Russell against Toronto, big up and pace game, I'd be interested. I just don't trust it. Again, to go back to the Tankathon, Brooklyn and Philadelphia, identical 23 and 49 records. It's
right.
And again,
I don't trust this game. I don't trust this game at all.
Yeah. You're going to power rank your trust level for Washington, Philly, Toronto, Brooklyn. How would you power rank?
So I'm power ranking them by team, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess I would say Philly.
You trust the most?
I trust the most. Yeah.
By
Philly,
default. By default?
By default, right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're still pretty fragile. Philly, I think Washington, Brooklyn, and then Toronto. Like Toronto, I don't trust at all.
Yeah, I don't trust any of it. And like, if we don't trust it, again, we should. If you're running a bunch of lineups, we're not doing that. But like, you could put rules in, if they are breaking the trust, like if Barnes doesn't play, somebody should be benefiting that probably typically wouldn't benefit, that kind of thing. They only have.
But the thing is, he might play 25 minutes. He might play 25 minutes, and that's not enough for 8,700. So
No, I'm thinking I'm not playing Barnes because I'm afraid they don't play him enough minutes. Therefore, I think so and so is going to get elevated. But does that so and so really exist?
Right.
Like, I'm not going to play AJ Lawson.
Harden in.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so we don't have to play 9K Kawhi.
Kawhi, yeah.
Rui officially going to play tonight and start will be at a minutes limit. They already ruled out Ja for tomorrow. Jeez. Well, at least they're doing it quickly, but and it's a hamstring. Wasn't he dealing with his shoulder as well, Ja? I feel like he's had multiple body parts.
I think so. Yeah.
How many minutes we giving Russell? I'm going to guess like 28 or so. We are giving him 28. Yeah, 25 to Watford. And you mentioned the Watford power forward eligibility. That's useful.
I think Watford's a really good play in large field GPPs. And he is going to be popular, but I think for a good reason. I think his minutes, him personally, are pretty safe.
Because Sharp is out. That's one reason. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else of note as far as this game?
Nope.
Yeah. That is 3 down. Man, those games are so bad. It's really, really terrible. Lakers, Pacers, 236.5 is the total. It's high and tight. The Lakers are 1-point favorites, like perfectly high and tight, right? And we know, there are stars in this game. There's stars you got to pay for. We have some of the cheapies to make it work. As far as who's officially in, who's officially out in this game, well, the Pacers are really healthy. Anybody of note is in. There's nobody really to be concerned about. LeBron officially probable with his groin. Bronny's in the G League. I did see Bronny put up like 37 or so the other day in the G League, so shout out to him. And Rui is in. Did they say minutes monitor? Is that what they said on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that we're playing Rui. Anyway.
I don't think he matters.
No, I don't think so either. We kind of referenced FanDuel earlier in some of their prices, some of their discounts. LeBron is too cheap on FanDuel. I like his price over there a good bit. I think he's a good cash game piece. If you have like one big spend, I think he could be it. It's cheaper than it is on DK. That's kind of one of your telltale signs. If you have all the salary in the world, of course, Luka, sure, why not? By the way, you remember when we were talking about the Lakers, like especially even after their trade, like they're the best defense in basketball. Remember that conversation? At least according to defensive rating. And
that's null and void now, isn't it?
So the Lakers are now, let's see, let's pull up the last 10 games for the Lakers. They are, they're the 7th worst now as far as defensive rating.
It's crazy.
I mean, it did feel like,
their rim protection must be horrible though.
yeah, I don't have the stats as far as how much they're getting devoured inside, but I would imagine that is the case. That the likes of Jackson Hayes and Trey Jamison, that Markieff Morris has played some center. I think
thought that wouldn't work out defensively.
Yeah, well, I mean it's so weird. I love I want to see the 30 for 30 on the Mark Williams thing, because I don't know if they just had buyer's remorse, and let's just say he's got a foot. I don't like, you so rarely see that returning.
That is it's so rare.
And then Williams kept on playing. It's just like Charlotte's like, hey, he's fine, and he's never healthy, but he's fine now. Very weird. You think it's still awkward in the locker room with Connect, or it's fine now?
I think by now it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah,
Luka,
I'm getting to a ton of LeBron on FanDuel.
Yeah,
and I'm getting to a ton of Luka. So both these guys, I think, are viable plays on FanDuel.
Can you play them both? Do you cap it at one?
Cap it at one.
Do you force one?
That's a good question. I think you're going to get to so much LeBron automatically. I would just make sure to not get too much, I guess is what I'd say. But yeah, I mean, I think LeBron's a fantastic play on FanDuel, but you can't play them together.
Jump over to the Pacers. What do you have as far as Indiana?
Yeah, I'm getting to a ton of Halliburton on DK at 8,400. I'm getting to a bunch of Nembhard on FanDuel, so I think he's a good run back for LeBron. But I mean, I'm getting to some Miles Turner, but really it's just Halliburton on DK for me.
Pulling up the ownership stuff right now, and yeah, this is not a very popular game. Again, considering it's a 6-game slate, Halliburton is the most popular player, 8.4K on DK, currently 19% ownership. LeBron at 18, Luka at 16, he's 12K now. Luka was like 10K on DK not too long ago. Remember that? How goofy that was? Yeah. Pascal 11%, Turner 11. But the environment, again, the environment's very good. High and tight, like we're talking about. A motivated team in the Lakers. The Lakers are jockeying for position. They're currently in the 5 spot. They could theoretically fall out into the 7, if things go awry. Or they could theoretically jump up to like the 3, let's see there. Houston has got 47 wins in the 2 spot. Denver's got 45. Memphis 44. Lakers 43. Golden State on their tail at 41. But these are the motivated teams right now, right? And then we'll see, like, there might be an extra layer of like, okay, well, maybe it might be better to be the 4 than the 2, depending on, or the 3 than the 2. Whatever, depending on what you could kind of pick your opponent, if that makes sense. Well, maybe later on in the season, like we'll see, okay, we know this team most likely is the 7. How do we match up against them? Just an extra layer of not necessarily tanking, but just game theory is the right way to.
Can you play Obi Toppin off the bench, or is that just too fancy? That's.
What are we giving him, like 17 minutes or so? On some point, right?
So
18 minutes. How does he get more minutes than 18 minutes? Turner foul trouble.
I think that's really it. Yeah, not enough minutes, I guess.
I'm just trying to think, because this game, Lakers, you can certainly go small against the Lakers, and the Lakers probably would appreciate that. I think there's a chance he plays more than 18 outside of foul trouble. Like if he's just playing well and just, works better for the flow of this particular game. But I have to make at least 10 lineups before I consider him. You're talking about for a 3, if you're 3-entry max kind of.
No, more like a 20 max type.
Yeah, if you want to get 1 out of 20, sure. I'm not going to yell at you, but I don't think I'm going there. I do not anticipate that. Did you say your favorite? You talk about LeBron.
Oh, Alex Reese inactive for Philadelphia. So
okay,
that makes them down to what, 9 now? Because they have Philip Wheeler. Okay. Yeah.
What is Philip Wheeler? And I don't mean that like in a joking sense. Is he like a center?
I really don't know.
What position does he play? Let's see. Philip Wheeler. Because I think that might matter. He's a linebacker for the Falcons. Is the first thing I got. I think maybe there's another person named Philip Wheeler. Let's see. Unless he's both a linebacker. Let's see. Sixers signed Philip Wheeler to a 10-day contract 3 hours ago. But what is his deal? How tall is this guy? All right, now I'm getting some ads. We'll figure this out on the fly, but all right. I don't know. Why? It's not. I should type in height and weight, I suppose. But
yeah, so they have 9 available and 1 guy just signed today. So
that Wheeler being the one guy or somebody else?
Yeah, Wheeler being that one guy.
You got to play Wheeler on Wheel Wednesday, right? How do you not play Wheeler on Wheel
Wednesday?
Wednesday?
We got to do the wheel, Dean.
We're
going to go the whole show forgetting to do the wheel, I bet.
No, we've talked about it multiple times.
Oh, we did? Okay. But we haven't spun the wheel.
No. We're going to spin it after this game. We're going to spin it after this game.
All right.
Mr. Irrelevant in chat, thank you. Wheeler is 6'8", 185, and somebody else told me he's a small forward, apparently. I was just wondering if he was like a big or like a, I guess he's a wing is sort of what we're getting at. Because Reese is a big, right? I guess Yabusele and Bona can split the 5 if they need to split the 5. So they have 2 bigs. Okay. And like Washington, if they're playing Buksevich and Sarr together, they have Thor is going to be in the rotation as well, I assume. I don't know if Gill or Holmes, how much run they get. They do have some bigs. So just trying to figure out. Okay. Projection team will be on top of that, but it looks like they're going to be down to 9. And the 9th guy is Wheeler, if I'm counting correctly. We'll get an update on that momentarily. Did you give your favorite amongst Luka and LeBron? Does it depend on where you're shopping?
I think it's still just straight up LeBron.
Okay. Let's bring producer Steve in. Let's give away a week free of RotoGrinders Premium. I believe we're going to be spinning the wheel at least once. I don't know if we have enough likes, to get a second spin. Steve, how we doing?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, just talking about players I never even heard of.
Thank God baseball starts tomorrow.
It does.
We're only at 50 likes.
It's embarrassing stuff.
So we have 303 people watching.
If we got to 75, Steve, would you spin it one more time?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll do 2 if we can.
Let's see if we get to 75.
Let's see if we get
All right, let's spin this first one. See how the people do. It's not me. The user, it's me.
Shout out to It's Me.
It's me.
That's a new beat, right? That sounded like I never heard it before.
Yeah, I changed the song.
All right.
New sport, new song. We are at 77 likes. All right, we could do another one.
Look at that. There you go.
Wow.
A little begging, a little prodding, a little, add a little bit of a incentive, and there we go.
If we can get 100 before this one's done, we'll do one more. But I'll do this.
Wow.
One now.
Here we
can do
go.
this all day in 125. We'll hear 125.
Go Miles.
All right, you're gonna slide in and hook them up. Slide in. Producer Steve's gonna be coming in and get you some RG Premium. Again, that's not just for basketball. It's football, baseball, basketball, hockey. I think USFL. I did say football. That's football, right? Golf, MMA, PGA. That's golf too. I'm getting redundant. Everything with the exception of NASCAR. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium just by hitting the button, joining the Discord tomorrow. We'll have something going on tomorrow. We're bringing tiers back tomorrow. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Myself, Stevie, Dave Potts, Cheese is Good, Cardi, Ross Weather, taking you all the way up the lock, the DK lock at 4:00. Okay, there are 2 games left here. 9:00. Milwaukee, Denver, 223 is the total. this is tricky because we got a midday upgrade and a midday downgrade. Are they calling their shot here? Is Joker back? Joker is now officially questionable against a Milwaukee team that's a shell of itself because there is no Giannis. Giannis is out with a foot. Lillard's got a calf. He's out. Of course, Bobby Portis is still suspended. Christian Brown is probable with his foot. Aaron Gordon's got a calf management, so he's questionable. We mentioned the Joker is questionable, upgraded to questionable, and then Michael Porter, MPJ, downgraded to questionable with his back. We kind of speculated at the top of the show, a lot of if-then stuff here, but we think, again, don't like to speak in definitives, but Tim, at least these Denver guys are sitting. I would say Joker's probably got the best chance to play.
That's what I think.
Why else would they make it?
Even though it kind of makes no sense, but that's kind of what I think.
And Porter is the most likely to sit.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And kind of wait and see because this is 2 hours after the 7:00 lock. And then kind of sort of somewhat bearing the lead for Milwaukee. We're giving Ryan Rollins to start. Rollins, Green, Prince, Kuzma, Lopez. And then Porter still projects really well. Trent's got to make his threes, but he's gonna have his chances at least. Do you want to power rank the cheapies for Milwaukee?
So I got a question in chat that I want to address. Can I play KPJ, and Rollins together? And I don't think so because I don't really like Rollins' ceiling. So I think you got to pick one or the other. I would prefer it to be KPJ over Rollins. So I'd rank them Kevin Porter Jr., Rollins, Gary Trent, and then I guess like AJ Green and Taurean Prince. But I mean, Kyle Kuzma is going to be the most popular play in the entire slate. He's definitely a core cash game play, which is so weird, right? I think Brook Lopez is a cash game play, at least on DK. And he could be on FanDuel as well, but I like Zubac better.
And Kuzma probably draws the toughest defensive matchup if Gordon plays. Yeah, I mean,
is there any chance that does Gary Trent ever start?
I don't think he starts very often. It's funny you say the Rollins Porter thing. I think you can play them together just because they're cheap enough. I think.
Yeah, I get that.
I think you can.
Right.
So I'm open to it. And there's going to be, at least according to our projections, I think we have some, rollover. We got Rollins 27 minutes. We have Porter 26. So according to our projections, they are going to play together a bit, right? And they're just cheap enough. Porter, by the way, as far as his fantasy points per minute, I was writing about this today. It's not a huge sample size. It's like 100-ish minutes or so. But if you take Middleton, Portis, Giannis, and Lillard off the court, Rollins' fantasy points per minute, let's see. That's a typo there. I have to fix that. 1.47 DK FanDuel points per minute for Porter. That's according to QuarterQ. I couldn't believe how big that number was. Just a monster number. You mentioned Rollins. Rollins is still pretty good. 1.11, like considering the price. When you kick those guys off the court, he sees a 7.3% usage bump up to 25%. I was surprised it was that high. I think it was like 100 minutes or so. There's only so much sample you have because we haven't seen this scenario very often.
So you would rank Porter Jr. over Rollins then, straight up.
I would, yeah. Which seems kind of silly because we've seen it like the scenario several times, and sometimes it's just like who's playing better, and whoever's playing better amongst the two is going to close. And there was one game where Rollins played better. There's one game where Porter played better, and we currently are projecting Rollins to start. It wouldn't shock me if Porter starts. Yeah, I don't know, but
I would definitely leave plenty of spots open on your team for this game specifically because there's a lot of moving parts of this game. I think. LMI Okiki's off Philly now.
Yeah, Okiki's no longer there. I think somebody else picked them up.
The Knicks.
Yeah, I thought I saw somebody else pick them up. I don't know if he's available to play tonight.
I don't think he is, but I'm not sure.
Not that he matters. He wouldn't play anyway. Mitch Rob's back. So how many players can we play in this game? Like in a stack? 6? Can we play 7?
I was gonna say 5. I was gonna say 5, but I mean, you could potentially play 6. Definitely.
I think you could potentially play 6.
Yeah. My first instinct is to go with 5 from this game.
And if Joker doesn't go, Murray looks really good, obviously.
Right.
Well, and then Russ. There's a chance Russ gets unleashed. Although Russ he's priced like he's supposed to be unleashed. Like, he looks really bad. Right? If everybody's in, Russ is a terrible price. But there's a chance he can become good, or at least playable. And it's all sort of fluid, and we don't know. And pay attention to when lineups come out. Pay attention to who's going to be playing. And it's a 9:00 game, so we're probably not going to have information for until after 7:30, right? Until after the Lakers Pacers. It's just kind of a doubleheader. The first 4, 7, 7:30, 3 7:30 games. But
is DeAndre Jordan too expensive if Jokic is out?
He's been really, really good.
I know.
In fantasy wise, and I think he would get. Sometimes he would start, sometimes he wouldn't. But when they've played him, he's been really good. Lopez is big, but he also plays differently. He doesn't play close to the basket, right? So I was thinking about that, and because earlier in the day I was thinking about it, Joker's not going to play. And I was thinking about Lopez. And I'm like, is DeAndre Jordan going to chase him out to the 3-point line? Is that something he's going to do? I don't know. He probably wouldn't be very good at it, but I would imagine Jordan would play. I would imagine he would be the guy, but now he's 5K, and which I think in the tournament pool, if nothing else, he's pretty active. He's getting junk around the rim, a bunch of boards. He had some assists as well. But and again, you have the sort of the failsafe of Boston, because Boston could go awry as well. That's the next game. 221 is the total. Phoenix is a home dog here. Back half of the ESPN doubleheader. Another midday upgrade for Boston. That's Tatum is questionable. Everybody else that matters is healthy. Xavier Tillman's out, doesn't matter. Bradley Beal is out for Phoenix. That's the only player that really of relevance. They've been starting Colin Gillespie of late. Yeah. Why would Boston play Tatum? is my they're 5 games behind Cleveland, and they're 7 games in front of New York. They're locked in. They're not moving. They're entrenched in the 2 spot. They also brought back Jaylen Brown from his knee, and he hasn't been good. No, whatever. A small sample. He was passive, really passive. They have to be certain that these guys are good to go. There's no other reason to play like Tatum, right? I don't know. It's just I thought there was no chance he plays today. Basically, I saw the upgrade.
Do you make any Boston guy a priority if Tatum sits?
FanDuel specific, Derek White would be and I think he's okay now. But yeah, if Tatum doesn't go, I love Derek White on FanDuel. I'm pulling up. We have an if then, right? And like you said, Brown is almost kind of a neutral play. Just his price is already up there on DK. And look, I don't know. It's a small sample, but Jaylen Brown, his last 3 games, right? Usage 17%, 16%, 18%. Is that just small sample stuff? Is he nursing that knee? Again, there's no reason.
Kobe Jones is starting for the Wizards.
Instead
of Vukcevic, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. That is so
Kobe
weird.
Jones was like a left winger for the U.S. national team for soccer many years ago. Pretty sure it's a different guy. Colby Jones. Oh, it's Colby Jones. Okay.
Yeah.
So how concerned are we about Vukcevic?
I'm a little bit concerned now.
I think I am too. Again,
I don't think I'm going to be playing him in single entry now, which I was definitely considering, but now I'm not going to be.
For what it's worth, this is the front half for Washington, front half of back-to-back for Washington. Also front half for the Lakers, front half for the Pacers. The only team on the back half is New York. Who does Washington play tomorrow? Like, Colby Jones has got to be worse than Vukcevic, right? I assume they know
I would assume. Doing, right?
I would assume. What is this Colby Jones guy? Let's see. Vucevic in the season, 1.28 fantasy points per minute for what it's worth. A big dude step out into a 3. Where's Colby Jones? 1 fantasy point per minute on the season in 97 minutes. This is usage. 14% usage. Is he a good rebounder? What does he do? What do you do here? Not a very good rebounding rate. Assists are okay. I'm not really seeing a lot to get excited about.
Is Jones in cash consideration now?
I don't know.
Probably not, but let's see what the projection team says.
How many minutes did he have? Was he getting like 20 or 18? Let's see.
Oh,
he was getting 25.
He was getting 25.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to get more than that now, right? He's got to get like 29.
I would think.
They don't like it. His rates are not good for what it's worth. They're giving him 25 minutes, which equated to about 18 and change fantasy points. So even though he's been putting up 1 per minute, they're suggesting he's kind of overachieving. But it's a good matchup versus Philly, and the things that like projections might have a hard time capturing. Washington probably wants him out there because Washington, for sure, 100%, not even a conversation. They want to lose this game, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge to lose this game because have you seen Philadelphia? And again, I'm a little bit nervous about Grimes. Like we talked about that before, and
yes.
And I don't think we have to worry about it. I don't think so because the price is so exorbitant that I don't think we have to mess with it. Man, it's so hard. It's so hard to speculate. There's the official starting lineup, by the way. It is Poole, Carrington, Colby Jones, Champagny, and Sarr. With they got 6 guys coming off the bench. A lot of bigs, right? Vucevic is a center. Holmes is a center. Gill is a 4-5. And they have Sarr, of course, starting against a team that doesn't have a lot of bigs. Yabusele, who's kind of an undersized 5. And then Bona, of course, true 5. Yeah. I'm going to keep an eye on this game just because it's gross, ugly basketball. Curious to see how it goes, but yeah, I don't know how to speculate. I don't know. Do you have any takeaways? Did we give our projection team enough time, or if not, no?
I don't know if they've done an update yet or not.
Yeah, we just got the news a few minutes ago, so we should give them a little bit of time. Yeah, it's not going to be pretty. I can assure you, this is not going to go on the brochure. As far as selling,
so they gave him 3 more minutes, up to 28.
What about Vucevic? How far did he fall back? That's the one.
Down to 21.
Yeah.
I really like Sarr. Sarr's gonna be my break the slate play.
Why would they play him though? They know what's going on. They're well aware of the situation. Why would they?
I'm not saying to play him in cash games, but I'm saying take a chance on him in single entry and GPPs.
Would you your surprise level if Sarr, they're up by 10 or so in the fourth quarter?
But I have to consider this in the context of the entire slate, though, Dean. I'm not going to be surprised about a lot of guys. So I think Sarr has a pretty nice ceiling here. But I agree, it's not safe. It's not safe.
The other thing I thought that was worth mentioning was that, we talked about Milwaukee being without Giannis and Lillard. They still have like 13 guys. They have a slew of guys that, especially if this game goes the wrong direction, they don't have to play like Rollins and Porter and all these guys a ton of minutes. It's bad. They have, Tyler Smith, Moutier, Pete Nance. There's a bunch of dudes that look like creative players. Just sort of saying that it's not like they're down to like 9 or 10 players, right? They have a lot of bodies, just none of them really good. Who's breaking the slate for you? Is it Sarr? Are you going to stick with that story?
It's going to be Sarr. I'm going to go with Sarr.
Yeah, man, it's I like the stance, and you're locking him in at 7:00. You reserve your mind, but as of right now, we got a half hour.
I think I'm going to be locking in Sarr and Justin Edwards.
I'm not sure who I'm locking in this game, but I'm probably not playing Vucevic.
Oh, Doughton's starting for Philly.
Oh boy, this is the counter. Like, oh wait, who are they
Yeah.
starting? Okay, we got it. Who's the worst player here? Raise your hand. Okay, you're gonna start. Doughton, Grimes, Council, Edwards, Yabusele, which means who do we? Oh, Butler's not starting.
Butler.
Okay, so he's gonna get a haircut, I assume. We're probably giving Butler close to 30 minutes, right? Well, the projection on that. Yeah, he was getting 30, and we had how many minutes do we have? We had 26 for Doughton. He could be interesting if he plays like 28, 29. Oh man, it's all so gross. I kind of like him a little bit against Washington. CW says so. Don't play Grimes. I don't know, man. Just understand what you're getting yourself into.
It's just risky. He totally has a ceiling here, but it's risky.
Yeah, it's possible. And it's one of those situations where it's already decided in the fourth quarter. Maybe Philly just lets them have fun, lets them keep playing. But the smart thing, the long-term thinking thing would be, try and lose this game. And that's one of the best ways to try and lose this game is you do not play Grimes as much as he probably should play. But who am I to say that? I'm not a GM. But, yeah, all right. We've talked about it enough. We'll go ahead and bring in Crunch Time. They'll discuss it as well. Your player that's breaking the slate is Sar. We'll see what we can do as far as Crunch Time. They will see that and raise it. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's bring in Crunch Time right now. All right. We got Neil. Neil, I think, Neil, are you going to be going solo? It looks like you're going solo. You're going to be holding it down all together?
I mean, Roth is here. Does Roth count as a person?
No.
Yeah, so I guess I'm solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If he was on the Sixers, Roth would be playing tonight.
So that's true.
I did not play tonight, and I'm glad based on how long we've been talking about dudes who like Doughton and Vucevic and some really trash dudes. I'm happy to not be playing tonight, Dean.
And there's still like 2.5 more weeks of this. But Roth, tell the people, Roth, why they should tune in tomorrow and hear your weather reports. Dave Potts, cheese is good, and Derek Carty. We're your warm-up act. Myself and Stevie. We're gonna be on 2:00. But yeah, day baseball, 11 gamer on FanDuel. I think it's a 9 gamer on DK. Don't hold me to that. But a sprint slate on DK with 9 games. Every game starting at 4:00. Sounds like a good time. But and of course your weather reports.
There are weather issues as well tomorrow. Could see some late starts. Could maybe get maybe a PPD in the mix. But
how excited are you, Roth, for that?
Thrilled. Yeah.
Well, just know, like, if you make the wrong call, like, nobody's going to tweet you. I'm sure they'll just be like, hey, I made the personal decision. It was my choice.
The good news is now with forecast modeling being worse than it was roughly 3 weeks ago because of all the cuts to NOAA and our weather distributing systems. If the forecast is wrong, it's not on me, man. It's just the government.
There you go. I want you to respond to people like that on Twitter.
I'm sure that'll go great.
Tim, anything else before you step aside and get out of here and make way for Neil and Roth?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Enjoy the slate. Join us tomorrow for baseball. 2:00 on the East Coast. Cannot wait to talk about some baseball. But for that, for now, we got some really gross basketball. Enjoy it. Have at it. Take it away, Roth.
Good stuff as always. Welcome to it, ladies and gentlemen. You know Dean is about to get. Dean, did you see the light? That was Dean was about to be in the spotlight there. Welcome to it, ladies and gentlemen. You know the drill. It's crunch time. We got one of the sharpest minds in the industry hanging out with me here. It's Neil Orfield, the flannel god himself, helped me to break down this interesting NBA slate. Neil, we've got 23 minutes until lock. How you feeling about it?
I'm feeling good. I enjoy these slates generally. There might be a little bit too much in this one. Like I enjoy slates with a lot of moving parts. This one's tough because there's a lot of tanking teams on this slate. So just like if a player is doing too well, they're going to get pulled, and it's a little bit too much for me. I prefer some moving parts, but not like everything kind of up in the air. But in general, feeling good.
Do we really think we're at a point where if a player is doing well, they will get pulled? Or do we just think in general, maybe the guy won't play as much, but like the team, the coach and the players are still trying to win every game, right?
Yeah, the players are for sure.
The coach,
I think that it does happen some. Like I think,
yeah,
although Quentin Grimes has been playing decent minutes when he plays well, so maybe it doesn't happen as much as I worry it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's some of that. Like it's not they don't make it obvious. They're not like, oh my god, he just made 3-3-pointers in a row.
Right.
Let's pull him. But
Send
like,
him right to the bench.
yeah.
All right. Well, it'll be interesting to see what we do here. Of course, there's no doubt that tanking needs to be in consideration. Generally, probably just because of player minutes. Good players aren't going to get the minutes. They might even might not get starts. But let's talk about what we do have. We don't have a whole lot, but we got something, Neil. So let's start on FanDuel at point guard. Or if there's breaking news that we're like waiting for as you're kind of trying to build your lineups, let me know if there's anything that like we can't build because we need to know X, Y, and Z.
No, I mean we've got both the starting lineups for the game right at lock, which is helpful, and I think projections are updated for the Washington Philadelphia game. So yeah, there's things that we're still waiting on, but I don't think we're necessarily going to get that news before lock. So we can do our best with what we have. So yeah, I'll start at point guard.
Sure.
Looking at who I have the most of right now on FanDuel. KPJ getting to a ton of Kevin Porter Jr. with no Giannis, no Dame Lillard. He's 4,700 on FanDuel. That's a really nice price tag. He's both shooting guard and point guard eligible. The matchup is pretty nice with Denver. They've been pretty poor defensively recently. So he should just have, pretty big minutes and minutes upside for sure above what he's being projected for. And then also just big usage with no Dame and no Giannis. So love KPJ tonight. Luka Doncic, Jeff Doughton, now that he's in the starting lineup, did not think I was going to be playing a ton of Jeff Doughton, but I'm getting to a lot of them now. James Harden confirmed in, like him against New York. Tyrese Halliburton, love that matchup with the Lakers. Bob Carrington, man, just lost his father this week, but he's back out there playing already. Good for him. Hopefully they'll reward him with some minutes for being out there playing. 4,900 looks pretty good on FanDuel. Campaign, I'm getting to in double digits. That's it for me as far as double digit plays. Some other players at point guard I think are worth mentioning. Jamal Murray, I think like there is still to me a pretty big risk on Joker sitting just because Giannis isn't playing. They probably don't need Joker to win this game. Maybe I'm selling the Bucks a little bit. The Bucks minus Giannis a little bit short, but kind of think it's a little bit more likely. Like I think it's basically 50-50 that Joker plays. Like he was an in-day, like on the day of upgrade from doubtful to questionable, which is often an indication that a player is going to play. I feel like this one is truly like 50-50 with Joker. So Jamal Murray could see a little bit of a boost there. I think he's playable regardless. Jared Butler now coming off the bench doesn't look quite as good, but it is. They only have 8 players. As far as I can tell, the Sixers are limited to just 8 players today. So everybody's going to play some minutes. Great matchup with Washington. Revenge game for Jared Butler. I still think that he is playable even off the bench. Russell Westbrook, I'll throw out there as somebody that if you think Joker is going to be out, Westbrook obviously gets a big bump if Joker doesn't play. Peyton Pritchard would look better if Jason Tatum sits. I think Jason Tatum's going to play, so not a real big factor there. Yeah, I think that's it as far as we've got Tyler Kolek at 3,900. Looks okay for the Knicks also. So he could play some minutes with no Miles McBride, no Jalen Brunson, could see a bump in minutes. So I'll throw him into the mix as well as somebody who's playable at 3,900, but currently not getting to any.
Can I ask your ownership on KPJ?
KPJ, I'm currently, and I just ran this with like a tiny bit of randomness on, and a few rules in here because I'm not playing on FanDuel, so I just try to get a sense. But currently I'm at 83%. Like he just projects really well point per dollar. I would cut back on that if I were playing on FanDuel. I'd probably shoot for, honestly, I'd probably not shoot for like, I'd still be above 50% probably on KPJ on FanDuel.
Okay, just getting a vibe for like how good that value is compared to some of the other stuff. Okay, how about shooting guard? What do you like there, Neil?
Yep. So KPG again, also shooting guard eligible. Then Gary Trent also for the Bucks is 4,200. Looks pretty good. I have more than 50% of Gary Trent right now. Also, I would cut back on that. I think more than KPJ. I'd try to be, more like he's projected for 52% owned. I think I want to be under the field on that with Gary Trent. Quentin Grimes, man, I'm surprised how much Quentin Grimes I'm getting. The matchup is really good. Again, they are limited to 8 bodies, so maybe maybe he can pull it off at 8,700. The price tag is up there for Quentin Grimes.
But he balls, man. He gets
he
it
balls.
done.
He does. He does get it done. AJ Johnson, again, coming off the bench, still looks pretty good. I'm pretty sure he's coming off the bench for the Wizards. I'll double check that. But Tyrese Halliburton, Ryan Rollins, and I didn't set any kind of a rule for KPJ and Ryan Rollins. You could consider it, but they're pretty shorthanded. Wait, I just got a update on the Wizards starting lineup. Now it is Jordan Poole, Bub Carrington. AJ Johnson is starting now, so I think that just changed. AJ Johnson is starting.
Yes, it did. It is a
Champagny
brand new
and
Washington
Sarr.
lineup.
All right, so AJ Johnson going to look awesome as a starter. He's going to be, I think he's going to rival KPJ as a play today. He might even be better than KPJ. So I think AJ Johnson looks pretty awesome. Tyrese Halliburton, Ryan Rollins, Devin Booker, Campaign. He's 5,200 on FanDuel. I'm still getting to a fair amount. He can put up numbers. Ricky Council in the starting lineup for Philly. Colby Jones, who I think was just removed. Yeah, he was just removed from the starting lineup. Again, I still think playable at 3,800, but that's going to cut back his projection a little bit. Let me see if there's any other names that I need to. Christian Braun would see a benefit. I think Christian Braun is playable regardless, but he would see a benefit if one of the stars, so both, so it's Joker, Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon are all questionable. Christian Braun, I think, would benefit from any of those guys being out, and he's already he's playable at 6,100 on FanDuel. I think he would look better if any of them missed this game. Jacoby Walter, kind of interesting at 4,100 for Toronto. Certainly playable. I think that's it.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of value here.
A lot of value. Yeah.
All right. Let's go to small forward. What are we doing there?
So LeBron, only 9,400 on FanDuel, looks pretty awesome. Kyle Kuzma looks like a really strong play. Again, no Giannis, no Dame Lillard. Going to see a ton of usage. He's 5,900. I actually have more Kyle Kuzma. I don't know, slightly less Kyle Kuzma than KPJ right now. Then Gary Trent, Quentin Grimes, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, who I'm expecting to play. Kawhi Leonard, James Harden is in today. But Kawhi Leonard still looks okay. Josh Hart, Torian Prince. That's it for me as far as double digits.
I just lock button that Kuz. I love Kuz at that price in this role. Like,
look, really strong play. Agree there.
Any other names you want to throw in?
MPJ, if he plays and Joker is out, then I would play some MPJ. Maybe even if just Aaron Gordon misses. Just scroll and seeing if there's anybody else I need to mention here. Marcus Bagley, probably playable just because the Sixers are limited to 8 bodies. He's only 3,600, so he's going to be playing some minutes. I think that's it, though, as far as who I need to mention.
There is apparently a 9th body for Philly, but he is not in the player pool. His name is Philip Wheeler. So just FYI, there is 9 dudes. One of them may or may not be real. We don't know. We don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
Okay, how about power forward? What do we like there, Neil?
Yep, power forward. LeBron, Kuzma. Trendon Watford looks pretty awesome here. He's 4,800. We have no Day'Ron Sharpe tonight, so should play some pretty big minutes against Toronto. Alex Sarr, who, it's iffy because they might bench their regular starters. So Alex Sarr, because he is like not a tanking specific player, could be some bench risk there, but he still looks pretty good at 6,600. Jason Tatum, Kawhi, Pascal Siakam, love the matchup. Josh Hart. Already mentioned Justin Edwards. No, maybe I didn't. I didn't already mention Justin Edwards, but certainly playable at 6,100. Nice matchup there. Still limited to just 9 bodies. Tristan Vukovic, I think, looks pretty good, although he is not starting, right? And I thought he was going to be starting. I think he's still playable, but that's certainly a ding that he's not. I'm not getting into double digits, actually. So let me just see if there's any other names. Oh, yeah, MPJ, Aaron Gordon both look, depending on if they play, who's out, could look good. Peyton Watson, if all the other guys are out, Peyton Watson could look pretty good. Noah Clowney, 3,900, I think is strong play on FanDuel at low projected ownership. I think that's it.
Okay. Let's go to center. What are we doing there?
So Trendon Watford is my highest owned. Brook Lopez, who I think historically does not actually benefit that much from Giannis being out, if I remember correctly. But he still looks really good, projects really well for 5,700. Alex Sarr, again, some risk there. Nick Claxton benefits from Day'Ron Sharpe being out. Could have his minutes rugged, but still looks okay. Projects pretty well. Ivica Zubats, Karl Anthony Towns. Actually, I don't even have double digits of Karl Anthony Towns. So just the top 5 that I'm getting to double digits. That being Watford, Lopez, Sarr, Claxton, Zubats. Towns is kind of always playable to me just because he has that 40-minute upside. Joker, somebody that I'd probably want to get to some if he's playing, just because he has the highest ceiling of, or one of the top 2 or 3 highest ceiling of anybody on the slate. I guess they have Luka, but yeah, those 2 I think duking it out for highest ceiling. Miles Turner, somebody that
is Brunson out again, or is he back?
Jalen Brunson, yeah, he's out. Yeah.
I mean, didn't Cat just drop a 30-point triple-double last night? 30-plus point triple-double?
Yeah, Cat and Josh Hart both had triple-doubles yesterday. Yeah, Cat always a pretty strong play.
Yeah.
Miles Turner, I want to throw out Miles Turner as he's 6,900, so a little bit too expensive, but he's going to get totally squeezed in terms of ownership. He's always somebody that I like when he's coming in at low ownership. Nice matchup with the Lakers, who have not been rebounding well or playing defense well over the past 10 games. Adem Bona, he's not. Is he? I think he's not starting, if I'm remembering correctly. I think Jonathan Mobo, 4,900, is borderline playable on FanDuel. I think I like him better on DraftKings. And I think that's it.
Okay. Very good. I want to kick it to DK, but before we do that, I want to know your favorite spend up on FanDuel. Like, there's a ton of value. We hit some of those spots, and there are plenty of good spend ups, but I don't know who the best one is.
Yeah. So factoring in ownership, let me think. I mean, it might be Joker when you factor in ownership. If he plays, Joker would just look pretty awesome. LeBron is the one that I'm getting to the most. Like, he's the best point per dollar spend up. I do have some interest in. I'm just scrolling through these names, seeing if one of them stands out to me as somebody that I'm really targeting on FanDuel. Probably Tyrese Halliburton. He's just been like awesome the past couple months. Doesn't project extremely well, but the matchup is pretty good for Tyrese Halliburton. The price tag is pretty low, so maybe I'll throw Tyrese Halliburton out there as my favorite.
Okay, very good. Before we get to DK, I want to make sure everybody knows that we got the best deal in the industry. Limited time. Get your first month of Combo Pro, $79.99. That's just $15 more than PGA Premium. It's only $5 more than NBA Premium. You got baseball coming back tomorrow. I got all kinds of sports happening. Got hockey, of course. This also includes content for March Madness. So this is literally the best day you could ever sign up for RG Combo Pro. Today is the day to make that happen with all the sports up and going. Okay, let's kick it over to DraftKings, Neil. We still have 10, 11 minutes here until we hit the lock. So what are we doing? Point guard, DK.
Yep. So point guard on DraftKings. Give me 1 second here. Just reran. As mentioned, AJ Johnson now in the starting lineup just looks awesome at 4,500 on DraftKings, both point guard and shooting guard eligible. I actually have him more than KPJ right now. Those two are pretty comparable though. KPJ looks awesome at 4,600. So those two really stand out to me as the best point guard plays on DraftKings. Then you got Campaign, who's kind of hit or miss. 4,600 looks okay. Luka looks like a pretty strong play at 1,200. Plenty of value you can get there. Devin Booker, Tyrese Halliburton again, James Harden, Quentin Grimes, D'Lo. That's it for me as far as double digits. Getting to a little bit of Jeff Doughton, Jamal Murray, Ryan Rollins. Again, Jamal Murray will look better if Joker ends up sitting. Same can be said for Russell Westbrook, obviously. Jared Butler still playable. Just scrolling through to see if there's any other names. Tyler Kolek, 3,300 looks okay on DraftKings also.
Okay, let's move it to shooting guard. What are you doing there?
Yep, shooting guard. Again, AJ Johnson, Gary Trent, 4,400 looks pretty good. Campaign. Colby Jones, who I ran this before he was out, maybe. So I think I'm going to move him down a little bit, but still playable. I think at 3,400. Devin Booker, Quentin Grimes. That's it as far as double digits at shooting guard. Just seeing if there's any other names. Again, Christian Brown could see a little bit of a bump if players miss for Denver. I think that's all I need to mention.
Okay, that brings us to small forward. Kuz.
Kuz at the top. I did not lock him. I'm at 92% currently. So getting into a lot of Kuz also. Yeah. LeBron, I'll probably move that down a little bit just because there's some blowout risk, but whatever. I'll get a lot. LeBron, Gary Trent, still Colby Jones will need to move down a little bit. But I still think I like him. Justin Edwards at 5,700 looks pretty good. Jalen Martin, Stone Min 3,000, getting to a little bit. Josh Hart, that's it as far as double digits. I do like Noah Clowney at 4,000, looks pretty good for Brooklyn. Kawhi looks like a strong play. Ricky Council, they have 9, but one of them is Dean just made up a player, is one of those 9. So Ricky Council looks pretty good for Philadelphia. Justin Champagny starting for Washington at 4,600 looks decent. Seeing if there's anybody else. Again, Peyton Watson could see, I guess, up to 4,900. So even if players out, won't look that great. Jacoby Walter, 3,800, looks like a pretty strong play. I'm not getting to that much currently. Marcus Bagley on that limited Philadelphia team looks like somebody I'd have in my player pool. I think that's it.
Okay. I have a sports betting thought. The Lakers are absolutely going to win tonight. They are. I feel very confident that I think they're 1.5 point dogs right now, and they are definitely going to win. There's no freaking way with all the hype that's been building and, they're falling apart since the Luka trade. No, they're turning it around. They're winning this game. Lock it in. Lakers are going to win this game.
Wow. Love it.
There you go. Yeah.
Throw it out there for the people.
I feel confident. Yep. There you go. If it doesn't happen, you can blame me. That's fine. Let's go to power forward. What are we doing there?
Yep. Power forward on DraftKings. Again, Kuzma, power forward eligible. Trendon Watford looks great at 4,600. Like him quite a bit. LeBron James, Justin Edwards, Jonathan Mobo. I'm getting to 14%. Josh Hart, Noah Clowney. That's it as far as double digits for me. Just under double digits. I'm getting some Kawhi, Kevin Durant, Ricky Council, OG Anunoby. I always kind of like those Knicks guys just because of the 40-minute upside. MPJ and Aaron Gordon both could see bumps. I kind of wonder if I should play a little bit more Jason Tatum since he's now looking like he is going to play and not going to see a ton of ownership at 11,000. I think he looks okay.
Yeah.
And I think nobody else standing out as nobody else.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, Michael Bootleg Heroes Mikey Jimenez says Lakers for sure with the dub in the chat. And Javier would like me to remind people, I forgot to read the small print. Don't take betting advice from a weatherman. It is very good, especially when it is not at all weather related. So that is a good point. Thank you for making sure that I read that. Okay, center spot. What are we doing there? And then we'll open it up to some QQs. We got about 5 minutes left.
Trendon Watford, my highest owned right now. Brooke Lopez, Alex Sarr, Nick Claxton, Jonathan Mobo, Cat. That's it as far as double digits. I need to give a little bit of a bump to Miles Turner. I brought him up during FanDuel. I actually like him quite a bit on DraftKings just because Miles Turner, again, just not going to get much ownership and clearly has Omega upside. Joker, I'm also going to give a bit of a boost to here just in case we get missing KPJ and or Aaron Gordon, and regardless of if those guys are in or out, like he's just a player that the field's not going to get too much, and he's obviously a really strong basketball player. Orlando Robinson looks okay. Tristan Vukcevic, I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it the same as Vuce?
That's how I've been saying it.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to see if there's anybody else I really need to mention here. No, I think we've covered like the important players.
Very good, Neil. That leaves us with about 4 minutes for some QQs. So lock in. Let's see what we've got. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the thumbs up for Neil. Solo show, solo content provider. That is what it's all about. I'm jumping in the Discord to see what we've got. And here we go. D-Rock says, Neil, DK large field tournament. Murray and Cat. Oh, it's a 2v2v2. Okay.
Oh, God. Okay.
Murray Cat, Murray Harden, or White LeBron?
White LeBron. Is that Derek White?
I assume, yes.
I'm going to go with Murray and
either Cat or Harden.
I'm going to go Harden. Murray Harden.
Okay. All right. I'm going Murray Cat. Cat's going to get it done again tonight. FanDuel, with a lot of uncertainty on the Nuggets injury report, Do you think it's safe to say somebody will sit? I'm asking because I kind of want to backload my lineups at point and shooting guard with Murray and Russ. What are your thoughts there?
I don't know. I'd say it's safe to say that somebody will sit, but I think like better than 50% chance that one of those three misses. So I don't know what do you call safe? But I'd say maybe I'd say 65% chance that one of those three misses the game.
Yeah. Okay. Chris says, I can't pay attention to any meteorologist. I just look out the window. There's your weather. That's great. If all you care about is what is currently happening now, but if you care about what is happening an hour from now or 2 hours, you might want to listen to a meteorologist, but you do you, man. I'm sure.
That's what big weather wants you to believe.
Yeah. I'm a part of the system. All right. DK, where are we at here? FanDuel cash for you. Brolo and Clickety Claxton. Brolo or Claxton straight up.
Brolo. Claxton, I think there's some risk there with Claxton getting his minutes cut.
Okay. We'll go to another one from a side. FanDuel cash 2v2. Halliburton and AJ Johnson or Doughton and Grimes.
Halliburton, AJ Johnson.
Yeah. Beaner says, do you guys like Durant? I don't like him in any capacity. So my answer is no. I mostly mean that on a personal level. How do you like him for the slate tonight?
He's playable. Like he's not like a priority for me, but I currently have 9%. I'm happy with that.
Okay. Jackson asking about the weather for golf. I'll go over that briefly after lock. I wish I could give you more than what I've got on that. What are your thoughts on Knicks players on the second leg of a back-to-back? Oh, that's an interesting thought.
Tibbs is the coach. Like, does Tibbs care about the back-to-back? So it's a tough matchup. It's a tough matchup.
Just grinding them down, man.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what else we've got. Booker or KD on FanDuel? Who would you prefer between those two? Eric asks.
I'd say probably Booker. It's kind of a toss-up for me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Okay. So would you play Tatum or LeBron? You've got a lot of LeBron, but you mentioned you wanted to get a little more Tatum than what you have too.
So it depends on the rest of your lineup. I'm going to have more of LeBron.
Yeah. All right.
Oh shit! How much time do we have left? I did not.
Less than a minute.
Uh-oh. All right.
You focus on that.
All right.
You focus on that. I will deal with the chat. We did get a question about how golf weather looks, and it's in Houston, which is where I live. And I can say that Thursday, especially a little bit later and throughout the day Friday, there's going to be off and on rain. And when it rains, it's going to get pretty windy. But models are all over the place with when it's going to rain, which also means models are all over the place on when it's going to be windy. So I don't have a preferred draw. And it's not because I don't think there's going to be a better side. Good job, Neil. I just don't know what the better side is. And I feel like it's important to just be honest about that when you feel that way. So I don't know what the better weather draw is for this, the tournament coming up. So there you go. And with that, we've hit the lock. You got your lineups in. I got my golf forecast in. We answered the questions. Gabe went through FanDuel, went through DK. And we're going to get some thumbs ups on the way out. And we're going to bounce. So for Neil and for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And we will catch you tomorrow for baseball bright and early. You have been crunched.